Just your average everyday trucker, keeping it real. I'm your host, Chris Blodgett, and you're listening to Real Talk Tuesday. This week's topic is going to be maybe it's not you, maybe they're just having a rough day. Hey guys, welcome back. It's interesting. Sometimes, with some of the episodes I do on this podcast, sometimes I literally just have to spontaneously jump on and start doing an episode because I might have something happen that inspires me. I'll be like, I should talk about this because others probably experience this shit too. And the inspiration for this topic, I just got back here to Lenexa, dropped my loaded trailer, bobtailed up front. A lot of times I get like where they have the bobtails park. A lot of times, there'll be, handful of actual spaces open. I can easily park in there. But when I bobtailed past it, everything looked full. It didn't look like there's any room back there. And I was like, all right, well, I'll pull past that near the line haul office. I'll loop around and I'll park along these cement barricades that are right in front of where the bobtails park. And been doing this for a little while, since probably like November. So what, November, December, January, or end of February. It's like 4 months. I mean, I don't park up there all the time. Usually I do try to park where the trucks are. But I've bobtailed up there and parked on the other side of the cement barricades, like just to cross the line haul. Like I'm out of the way, I'm not blocking anybody, and never had a problem. I've even been there when there's switchers that they're backing trailers in, like they've never said anything to me. I swing around there and park up there and I grab my water bottle. Figured, okay, I'm gonna go. Even on my last day of the week, I try to go ahead and refill my these water bottles, so that way when I come in, technically tomorrow, after 34 hours off, when I come over here Monday afternoon, Monday evening, to get loaded to go to St. Louis again to start my 6-day work week again, I can get loaded and I don't have to stop at the stop over there to run in and fill the water bottles up. I'm already ready to go. I can just get loaded and roll out. Save me a couple minutes, unless I absolutely have to use the bathroom or something, then I can still stop up there and use the bathroom really quick, then take off. But most of the time I'm good. My next driving shift will be when I fuel, because I do 2 full trips, and then on the next one I get hit to that first Loves. It's on or the Loves. It's about halfway. I fuel up, continue on. So it's like a little routine I got going on. But So tonight I swung around and I was parked, and I was parking up there by the, where I've done probably a dozen times or more, maybe more. Never had a problem. Never had anyone tell me anything. There's even been guys that'll walk past me, whatever. We'll walk in, do what we gotta do, fill our water up, bathroom, whatever. I get out, and I get like halfway to the building to go inside to fill the water bottle up in the bathroom really quick, and the switcher pulls up and he's getting ready to back the trailer, which I assume he's backing in the 53 that I brought in, because I think it's the same guy that hooked up to my trailer after I dropped it. But I hear like, hey! So I stop and I'm like, yeah? He's like, yeah, you can't park here. I'm like, what? So I walk up to his truck, he goes, yeah, you can't park on this side of the barricade. You gotta park over there. I'm like, well, there's no parking over there. Like the whole area is full. Like, where do you want me to do? Block a truck in? Like, well, I can't. I was like, sir, I'm literally just filling my water bottle up. Well, it doesn't matter. You can't park here. Like, you gotta park back there. I'm like, what's the big deal? Like, I'm literally running it. I was like, I don't even park here. I'm literally filling my water bottle up, hitting the bathroom, and then I'm leaving. Like, I'm going to Kansas City. Oh, you can't park over here. I'm like, okay. I'm like, sorry, I'll move it. All right, thank you. So, like, I come up to move my truck, and he starts backing in that trailer or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, because of course at this point I'm annoyed. I'm like, what the hell does it matter? Like, I'm literally like, and it's funny because like the switchers, when they're on break, they'll park like all their switcher trucks like right outside the line haul office, like parked near the building, and I'm like, can I park there? I bet you anything, like I would park there, and he'd be like, that switcher probably, oh, you can't park here either. You gotta park back there with the bobtails. Well, then why do you guys park here? Because if we can't park here, you guys shouldn't be able to park here either. I was like, I'm not parking here to stay here. I'm literally parking to run in really quick. But I moved my truck. Of course, I couldn't turn right to go back over to the bobtails because that's the wrong way. So I had literally circled all the way the hell around the building again, and then came back up from the back where the bobtails were. And somebody had left, so of course there was an area I could pull in and park in that little bobtail area. But it's like, but by that point I'm super annoyed. I'm telling myself like, you know what, like whatever, don't just like brush it off. And that's why the inspiration for this topic was kind of that situation, because I was telling myself like, you know what, like he's probably having a bad day for some reason, like maybe something happened in his life, that he's stressed out about, or maybe I don't know, maybe he lost somebody, or had a breakup, or whatever, like something might be going on in his life that he's overwhelmed, he's stressed, whatever. So it's the little things. You can't park here, man. Okay. Why do you care? Like, Lionel's not telling me anything. We're not getting messaged by FedEx about it. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to. I thought about it because it's funny because when I parked there and I was walking back out to the truck, he came pulling back up with another trailer, and then I saw that he was going to back into one of the first couple of docks, and he pulled all the way forward towards where I had the truck parked. So then I'm thinking, like, okay, maybe he's just, maybe he's somewhat new at doing the switcher job. Like, maybe he's just not very good at, the whole, backing trailers in the dock or whatever. And so he figured he needed all that room, pull all the way the fuck forward. When other switchers, they basically pull part way up there and then they swing it in there and they do it just fine. But if you're a new driver, or if you're new to dealing with the trucks and the trailers, maybe for him it was like, you can't park here, man, you're blocking, you gotta park back there. But okay, whatever. So I parked, I went in, filled my water bottle up, in the bathroom, came back out, and he was pulling up to back a trailer, and so I got in my truck, and I started bobtailing out, and of course I leaned out the window and I very, very dramatically waved at him. The whole little like salute, kind of like, see you later. Wanted to give him the bird, but I resisted. I want to be like, fuck you, asshole. But it's like, yeah, up there, it just wasn't worth it. That's why I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. And then, of course, walking back to the truck, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this would actually be a good topic to talk about. This would be a good real talk, because I'm sure other people deal with workers that they're like, why are they jumping on me about such and such? Like, why does it matter to them? I wasn't in his way. At least I shouldn't have been in his way, but he took all that room, so that tells me he's new to what the current job he's doing, and maybe he thought, well, he's parked there, I can't. That was all the way forward, too. I was like, should have been well out of his way. But I was like, all right, whatever, I'll move, and I'll, park back there along the bobtails, and I'll walk up here, that's fine, whatever. Because it wasn't a, hey, man, hey, can you please move back there? He literally, you can't park here, man. I've never had issue before. Like, there's no, because guys park up there all the time. I'm like, what? Like when they, especially when they come out with trailers, they gotta talk to line haul. They park along that thing. So you're saying we can park up here with a trailer attached? But and to go talk to line haul. But if we're bobtail and we're leaving, like we're not staying here. You're saying we still have to park back there? Because I was like, I'm not staying here. I'm leaving. But I'll remember that, and instead I'll try to park somewhere else, so I don't end up with this asshole switcher or whatever. It's like, So, I doubt he listens to this podcast. I don't even know his name, because honestly, like, I just saw his face, because he was up high in his truck and I was on the ground. But, hey, if you're a switcher out of Lennox, then you had to tell Bobtail to move. I'm not mad at you. In my head, I'm giving you the finger, but at the same time, I'm not, because, hey, maybe you're just new at your job, whatever, it's all good, but, and can't really back trailers in very well, I guess, but otherwise, it's all good, like, no harm, no foul. I moved, I got my water, I left, so sometimes if you're dealing with, if you're, let's say you're somewhere, and somebody, whether it's let's say it's like a coworker, manager, or whatever, because I've had that happen too, where you work for a company and one of your supervisors or coworkers or something randomly goes off on you. It might be like, oh man, what a dick, it's easy to basically just react and basically, you get pissed at them, and then it ruins your whole day, and it just basically makes you, all you want to do is you want to go like yell at that person, basically tell them, you motherfucker. But that's part of why. It's part of why I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do an episode about this, like, because technically I already, like earlier I already did. That's when you're hearing this, technically, like you're hearing this after the story I just did, for this next, so by the time this episode comes out, you'll have heard the Storytime Friday episode that I literally just recorded earlier this evening. I didn't plan on doing 2 episodes, doing 2 recordings in one night, but then this situation happened, and it was like, So I thought about it. I was like, kind of had that. I could do a real talk episode about this. Because I'm sure, like, a lot of people will probably experience similar stuff where you have situations that happen, like if your driver being told to move when other people park there, you park there, and it's never been an issue, but all of a sudden somebody's like, you can't park here, man. You're in the way. No, I'm not. I am well out of the way. Like, I'm like out here in the corner. Like, if I'm in your way, then you really can't do your job. It's like, or you're working in a job that, like I said, your supervisor or a coworker or something randomly just snaps at you or whatever, and so, you let that get to you, and you let it ruin the rest of your day because the whole rest of your shift or whatever, you're just like, man, what a dick, man, I'm gonna fucking quit this job, this sucks. It took me a lot of effort. I'm still kind of feeling it a little bit, like, still kind of, I'm irritable about it a little bit, but I'm also, I'm trying to tell myself, you know what, shake it off, let it roll off you. I try not to think about it too much. That's why I said, like, maybe, when I saw how far he pulled up to back a trailer, and I was like, he doesn't need all that room, but then I thought, okay, maybe he's having a bad day, maybe something happened, maybe, he's just, like, angry angry at the world right now or whatever. Either that or maybe he, like I said, maybe he's new and doesn't know really how to back trailers in properly or whatever, so he needs all that room to back in. Who knows? So if you're dealing with, sometimes we deal with people that instead of dealing with their shit, like whatever's going on in their life, whatever trauma they might have experienced that day, whatever stress they're going through or whatever, failed the test in school, didn't get the promotion they wanted or something, maybe they, something happened. And instead of dealing with it, trying to work through it on their own, like themselves, like work through their own feelings and figure out like what they're upset about, and try to figure out how they can deal with it. Instead, it's easier to use that pent up negative feelings or whatever, and they snap at somebody or they tell somebody off or whatever. That person literally, like me, walking up to the door and this guy comes up like, "Can't park here, man." And I stop like, "Sorry? Can't park here." I was like, I'm literally just going in to fill a water bottle. That doesn't matter. You can't park here. You gotta move. Okay. And then he's like, "Thank you." As I'm walking back to the truck, I want to flip him off and be like, "Fuck you." But I bit my tongue. Like, nope. I'm not gonna cause a scene here. I'm just gonna go. I'll move. I'll walk in for the 5 minutes. I'm not even 5 minutes. I was in there, really quickly in the bathroom. 30 seconds to fill the water bottle up, and then back out to the truck and drove off. Wave at him, I'll be, kill him with kindness. Wave and smile as I'm driving out of the thing. So it's like, all right, have a great rest of your day, sir. Or as some people will say, have the day you deserve, sir. Or some people just say, have a day. But me, if there's somebody that's a dick, I'll just be like, yeah, have a great day, sir. Yep, you do. As I'm in my head flipping you off as I walk away. I'm like, I'll bite my tongue. It's all good. And instead, I'll turn it into a I'm trying to think of the right word. Turn it into a productive moment like this. And use it as a inspiration for a topic for Real Talk Tuesday. or if it's a big enough deal, I could probably turn certain situations. I bet I could come up with a freestyle story for it. Because I know the more I work on the stories and do the freestyle stories, come up with stories off the top of my head. I've noticed it's feeling easier and easier the more I do it. It's like any craft, when you work on it, practice it, hone your skills, you get better at it. But if I were to take a couple weeks off and telling stories, I'm sure that I would struggle trying to do it again, because it'd be like, man, I don't know what to tell a story about. It's like Real Talk, it's like, if I do a couple weeks off, I might be like, oh man, I don't want to do a recording, and I'm lazy, man. But instead, I'm on here trying to be consistent with you guys every week. But it's weird, always something, when I parked, because usually around this time everybody at home is still asleep. But I guess my kiddo, my youngest, I guess woke up sick or whatever, throwing up. I was like, oh, something about basically she said she woke up and very violently was throwing up everywhere in her room, and I was like, so is your room complete mess now? Is that what you're saying? She was kind of a little bit, okay. So basically said she cleaned up as best she could, and still having dry heave over the toilet. And I'm like, and it's one of those situations where I literally was like, stupid question, but are you okay? Because you gotta ask the question. but you're just telling me you were just telling me you've been throwing up everywhere. So obviously, like, I knew I had to ask the question, but I knew that I kind of didn't want to ask the question because I figured it was a stupid question. You know, like, this is a dumb question. You've just been throwing up everywhere, but are you okay? She's like, well, I think the message I just saw pop up something about like she'd ask for nausea med, and I'm like, well, I think we got to get those from the pharmacy, but you know, or I actually got to have a doctor prescribe anti-nausea meds. I don't know if we can get those over the counter. Besides, right now nothing's open anyway, as far as I know. But I don't know. Can't really do anything right now anyway while on my way back to Kansas City, and you know, of course, got the phone up in the phone mount, so it's like I'm not gonna be trying to search while I'm on the move because, you know, hands-free and stuff. Versus like when I do recordings for the show, like the Storytime Friday or the Real Talk Tuesday, it's pretty easy. Like I literally, like, I got the headset on and it's recording and I'm not touching it. I'm just going about my day, you know, doing what I gotta do. So, in fact, today will be interesting because the new pup, the new girl in the house, the last couple days I've been getting out and walking her when I got home, probably around 7-ish. You know, when it's like the sun's coming up, or sun's like mostly up at that point. And so I'm walking her and then getting to bed like 8:30, where it's like right now I'm on my way back to Kansas City and it's not even 5 yet. So in the group chat, when responding to her, I was like, or to my kiddo, I was like, it's gonna be weird. I might actually be walking Nala in when it's still dark out, because I'm on my way to Kansas City now from Lenexa. Which I'm not complaining because technically today, after I park this morning, I'm off till tomorrow. It's my 34-hour break, so I'm like, the earlier I can get to bed, the better, because that means that I can technically get a decent sleep, maybe still wake up at like noon, and, you know, have like 6 hours of sleep. Have a good portion of the day with family. The only thing we have scheduled today is we're taking the pup, taking her to her first training session. This is the very first time that I've ever had I've done any kind of like dog training, like official dog training. Like we've had dogs before where you get them to sit, you teach them to sit, you teach them to lay down, you know, but otherwise they don't have any like behavioral issues. Whereas she is a sweet girl. She just has those couple of those issues where, like, if you approach her from something, like if she doesn't see you and you're like when she bit me in the kennel, like I took her on a walk, had a good walk, good morning, and then got her back to the house, and she ended up in the kennel laying down before I could get the leash off her. So I reached in there and I was trying to fumble at the leash on the back of her harness to get it off her, and she snarled and turned around and bit my hand. Didn't bite me to the point where it drew blood or hell, it didn't even really hurt. Like it hurt a little bit when she bit, but it wasn't like it hurt her like you expect. If a dog actually tries to bite you to hurt you, so that's why we don't think that she wants to react the way she does sometimes. We think that there's been some kind of like trauma or abuse with the household that she was in before. And that's why we're working on her, you know, that's why I went ahead and bought the bullet, or, you know, bit the bullet and went ahead and paid to enroll her for 4 one-on-one training sessions to start out with. Some of the group sessions with Petco or some of the sessions with Petco are group sessions with other dogs. But I had mentioned to the wife and said, I think we should do one-on-one first and, you know, get some training under her belt. And, you know, maybe hopefully that'll start helping with it. You know, she's going to start trusting us more and not be less anxious and not nip at us. You know, basically won't have to be afraid of her reacting the way she has been. And then get her involved with, like, training with other dogs. So she, you know, get her to react positively around other dogs instead of, you know, a dog that doesn't have training, that basically you just, when dogs bark at each other and they freak out, whatever. I've already had some instances, I guess, this week where Like, I've seen dogs where I've had her out, and I've seen dogs come out, like, from 2 houses down that came out, and they weren't tethered to anything, and they were literally just, they came to the edge of the property and were barking at us. And of course, I'm like, all right, now let's go this way. Because I'm like, I've had dogs that were unleashed before, and I've had experiences with them. And hell, that was why I was out for like 6 months when I was doing the package delivery side of FedEx. It was like, you know, I had that Mastiff or whatever that was unleashed, and it was loose in the yard, and it got a hold of me and dragged me across the yard. It was like, I was out for 6 or 8 months, and I got like pretty sure it was like 30, I think it was like 30,000, I think, 30 or 40,000, and of course, because of like all the medical costs, and you have to pay back workers' comp, which I didn't realize you had to do. That's kind of stupid. Why do I have to pay that back? It's supposed to be included, but I had to pay workers' comp back, so I got like 18,000 as a check or whatever. It was like, that works, you know. But so, as far as the topic goes, sometimes, you know, we just, you know, it's hard. It is really hard to not react. It's really tough to basically just say, you know what, they're probably having a bad day. They're probably pissed about something, and they're taking it out of me. I'm just going to walk away. Because sometimes, you know how it is, like, you want to react. You want to tell them off. You want to be like, fuck you, asshole. But then, you know, as far as you know, that person might react to you telling them, fuck you, asshole. Next thing you know, you're in a fist fight. And someone gets hurt, and then you lose your job, or you end up in court with charges on you. It's like, you know what? Like, there's been certain instances in my life where I really wanted to react a certain way to somebody, or you have those dark thoughts, like because somebody really wronged you, you basically, oh man, I would totally love to do such and such, really teach them a lesson. But then I'm like, you know what? They're not worth my freedom. Like, they ain't worth me going to prison for the rest of my life. I was like, obviously they're having a rough time in life. Obviously they're pissed about something, or maybe they're hurting internally and they're taking out everybody around them. Okay, I'll let them just dwell on whatever they're dealing with, and they can have that, and I'm not gonna let them drag me down. Sometimes that's why they say, you know, just walk away. It's not worth getting into trouble over. It's not worth losing your job. It's not worth getting arrested and going to prison for something. If you can, walk away. Now, obviously, like, the only occasion where I'd say don't walk away is if you're having to defend yourself. Like, let's say they you know, in this situation, like, he got out of the truck and came at me, then obviously I'd have to defend myself. But he didn't. He literally just yelled at me from up in his cab. You can't park here, man. Okay, sorry. I'll move. Thank you. Whatever, asshole. What? Nothing. Or, you heard me. Unless you really want to pick a fight, you say loud. I said whatever, asshole. But then he'd probably get out of the cab and, you know. I mean, recording this after a court date, you know. I'm unemployed now. I got into a fight with a switcher at a FedEx up in Lenexa. Nope, not worth it. He could, whatever's going on with him, that he felt the need to, you know, basically get in my face about me parking somewhere that wasn't bothering him. I was like, dude, like, I'm not in your way. I'm not blocking a dock door. I'm not doing anything that's gonna inconvenience you. I don't even have a trailer. I literally bobtail, so I'm a little small truck compared to if I have a trailer attached. And you're, you know, yelling at me from your cab. Something's going on. That's what I'm telling myself. Something for him. Something was going on. There's some reason why he felt the need to basically, you know, start something with me. Like, all right, whatever. I think in that whole area that, again, other trucks park at as well, to check in with line haul, whatever. But or to stop in there to do what I did, basically to go in the bathroom, whatever. There's like one little sign in the far corner that says no parking, but along the rest of it, there's not. And I wasn't all the way forward. I was back a little bit. So again, I've never had issues. It's been 4 months I've been doing this load. So I'm like, all right, like after tonight, I could probably park up there, run in, do what I gotta do, and leave, and probably not have another encounter with another switcher for a while, because most of them they park up there by line haul as well when they're taking their breaks. Like the whole fleet of switcher trucks will be parked right outside line haul. They'll all be in there heating up food in the break room or hanging out, taking their break. And I'm like, you guys are all parked up here. The only difference is I'm over here by these barricades out of the way, and you guys are all parked literally right by the building. I was like, you're telling me you're allowed to park there? Because I believe if I'm not able to park here, you guys probably can't park there. That's probably not a parking spot for switcher trucks. Like, you guys probably got to park in actual parking spaces if you're giving me crap about parking here. I was like, I could throw a fit too, you know. You want to be a dick, I can be a dick right back. But again, not worth it, you know. I moved around, I parked, took my water bottle in, did what I had to do, filled it up, came back out. Just, you know, I walked back, and of course, I'm, you know, when you get kind of frustrated about something like that, you tend to walk around, like walk back to your whatever you're doing, and of course, you're talking to yourself, kind of like almost as if you're talking to that deal with that worker or whatever, you know, like you'd be like, man, motherfucker, son of a bitch, you know, piece of shit, you know. But you know, you can't let it. You really can't. I mean, it's not healthy. You know, we all have too much stress as it is. So, you know, it's not worth giving yourself a heart attack or something because you let some dumbass that has nothing better to do than to, you know, pick a fight with you or something, stress you out, and, you know, tell you can't park there when he parks there, other people park there. It's like, all right, whatever, I'll move. I've had drivers in truck stops that actually, like, for whatever reason, they were kind of like, it wasn't geared at me, but they, you know, we'd randomly do the whole, you know, when you nod at people when you, hey guys, how you doing, sir? Guys who walk in. And I've had drivers randomly like, hey, hold on a second, you know, they start venting at me about something. And not even about me, it's just about like, man, it's happening. I dealt with this over here, this and that. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, you know. And I'm thinking, like, why are you telling me about this? It's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. It's like, oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that's horrible. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Oh, really? Oh, shit. You know, just basically be an ear to listen to, I guess, or to be an ear for them to vent to. Sometimes people need that, too. Sometimes you just gotta need to listen. That's like, it's like with, you know, your other half or whatever, like your wife or girlfriend, whatever. I saw this, my wife sent me this TikTok video that basically said, like, you know, men, like, you know, what you need to learn is how to be, for your spouse, how to be an emotional puke bucket. Like, how to hold an emotional puke bucket. And I'm like, interesting. So, I guess, you know, when they're stressed out, like, they literally act like, basically the guy was like, so it's like you're holding a bucket, and, you know, you just ask them about the day. Hey, tell me, like, what happened? What's going on? Like, how's your day? And they just start going off, like, well, this happened, that happened. Okay, what else? Well, they you know, they did this and that, blah, blah. Okay, what else? And, you know, and then, oh, this happened and that happened. I dealt with this person, and this person said this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what else? And then they you know, like, well, and I'm like, I'm just so overwhelmed, blah, blah, blah. Okay, thank you. What else? Well, and then the guy was like, well, and then we're like, well, that's it. Like, okay, and then you can set the emotional puke bucket down. I said, then you can probably have a regular conversation, you know, about what's going on, you know, and it may not even involve you, may not even be something about you, and it may not even be. She may not even need to, you know, have a further talk about her day with you because she's already been able to unload everything. I think that makes sense. And I'll admit, I don't think my fam actually listens to the podcast. They might. This will be a little test, you know. If they do, maybe they'll tell me and say something. You know, you commented about that you don't think we listen to your show, and I thought I'd tell you we do. Oh, well, shit. Okay, good to know. Because I don't think they do. But I mean, I would be totally surprised and totally, you know, it would catch me off guard if actually some of the fam said, like, you know, we heard your real talk and you said something about you don't even think your fam listens to your show. But I was like, oh, well, I didn't know you did. I figured you guys didn't listen to it. But so basically, with my wife lately, what I've been trying since I saw that video, I try to make the effort, kind of in the way that they, you know, not really emotional peak bucket, but I try to basically just, you know, when she does like a half-hour drive to work, depending on if she's working at a different location, because she's manager in training for an actual restaurant chain, not a local restaurant chain. I think they have them across the country, but so she'll text in the group chat like, hey, I'm in the Jeep heading home. So then I'll call her, and she'll be like, hello. I'm like, hey, so how was your day? And then I just listen. You know, we go back and forth. We're like, you know, I might talk a little bit about mine, but, you know, I basically just call her like, yeah, well, okay, well, that's cool. Like, so and so did this. And, you know, how'd training go? And, like, what'd you do today? You know, I'm trying. Make the effort, you know. That's all you can do. Make the effort with those that you care about and with those that approach you throughout your day that try to drag you down by being dicks or whatever. All you can do is, you know, best thing you can do is walk away. Okay, I'll move the truck. I'm sorry. Thank you. Whatever, asshole. What'd you say? Nothing, sir. But I was like, all right, I'll move. Thank you. Then you move. You basically just, you know, just try to, and that's the hard part right there, is try to let it roll off you, you know, because we want to react, you know, especially, you know, when it bothers you. If somebody says something to you that you're like, why are they trying to start shit with me? Like, why does it matter to them? It makes it where you want to react. You want to be like, I want to go tell them off. I want to give them peace of my mind. I want to be like, why does it matter to you? Like, what? Like, I'm not in your way. Like, everybody parks here. Blah blah blah. I was like, oh well, you know, no worries, I'll move. While mumbling to myself as I walk away. It's like, okay. So sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away and just tell yourself, you know what? That individual is probably dealing with something. They're probably having a bad day, a bad morning. Maybe their girlfriend or something, or boyfriend or partner or whatever broke up with him. Maybe somebody in the family died, so they're dealing with that. So it's easy to just take their emotions out on people around them. Because Sally, a lot of us, you know, there's a lot of us out here that not necessarily just drivers, but just people in general. There's a lot of people that don't know how to process their own emotions. And I'm not saying I'm great at it myself, but they end up taking things out on people around them instead of trying to be like, all right, like, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling, and what can I do about it to help myself, you know? Because it's easier to basically be like, snap at people, you know, and, you know, go off on somebody around you instead of actually like finding something that helps you to work through what you're feeling, finding something that helps you to process the situation properly. Whether it's therapy, you know, talking to a therapist, or, you know, hell, for me, and I'm not advocating go out and go get drunk to process stuff, but I'm saying, like, for me, on my day off, one of the things I do, which, you know, it does help, you know, for me, it helps me to relax. I do have a couple drinks on my day off. And it's literally the only day during the week, because that's my Sunday off. I might have a few drinks, hang out with the fam, get, you know, sometimes for me it might be getting the kind of food I want. Like if I haven't had Chinese in a while and I want to hit the buffet, go get some Chinese to go. And, you know, get a to-go container, bring it home. Or like I mean, part of it lately is actually taking the new pup out on the walk, you know, in the morning and the afternoon, like I've been doing, you know, before I go to bed, before I go to work. And obviously today it'll be different because I'll be, you know, I won't just be there, you know, walking her in the morning before going to bed, and then in the afternoon I'll actually be with her a lot more today. So that'll be interesting, because the last full day I had with her was when we first got her, and, you know, obviously, you know, we're having a little bit more issues than we are now. Today will officially be a week since we adopted her, and she's been going on lots of walks. You know, she's, from what it sounds like she's getting to the point with her kennel that she has a bed in or whatever. Because literally, I take her out of the kennel, she'll drink water, I'll hook her up to the leash, we'll go out for our walk, come back, I'll let her drink some water some more, and then we'll walk back there and I'll unhook her. She'll go in the kennel, and I've been giving her a treat in the kennel, like toss one of the dog biscuits in there, like, here you go, babe, there you go, baby girl. There you go, girl. Such a nice girl. Yeah, we don't bite, but you know, biting is bad, but licking is good. And of course, my daughter, the one that I think is under the weather right now, literally was like, "We love your licks." So I'm like, "Yep, we do." It's not on the mouth, but I'd rather you lick me than bite me. But it sounds like she's kind of getting to where she just goes in her kennel on her own, like without any issues. And I'm like, well, that's cool. Maybe I'll be able to unhook her at the door. Cause I'm worried about like unhooking her at the door, you know, when we first come in, and having her try to roam around the house instead. Because that's why I go with the leash. I go ahead and we walk back towards the kennel, because I don't want her to, hey, I'm gonna go this way instead. I'm like, no. It's time to go lay down in your bed and to settle down, because she's, you know, energy level is up when they come back from walks. You think they'd be tired and be like, all right, I want to lay down, but no, with dogs, I guess, especially ones that dip, you know, when they come back, their energy level's up because they just came back from a walk. They're excited, you know. So then it's easy to. It's like when I you know, thought she was good, I put my hand in the kennel with the door with the gate open to unhook her leash, and she turned around and got me. I'm like, ow. So then she got a little bit of a pop, you know. Not a you know, I wasn't doing it to hurt her or whatever, but you know, she got a little bit of a pop on the nose, on the snout, to basically be like, no, we're not doing that. That's bad, girl. We're not doing that. And trying to growl at me, you can growl at me all you want, but we're not biting. If you bite, there's gonna be consequences. It's like, we had a husky before, you know, like 12 years ago, whatever, that I think I told you guys about in the last Real Talk, actually, or one of the last Real Talks. He got a hold of a chicken bone back in Iowa, and of course, I don't know if you're familiar with this. If you're not, this is a little education for you guys. Chicken bones are not good for animals, because they will literally, the chicken bone splitters. So if they eat the bone, it can literally like puncture them. Versus like some other bones will stay solid, so they can literally chew on those bones. It's not going to be an issue. But chicken bones will splinter, and they'll literally kill. It'll tear them up inside or whatever. So this husky that we'd had for a couple of years at this point, I think we got him when he was like 1 or 2 from another family that was having to rehome him, and we had him for a couple of years. I think he was like probably 4 or 5 at this point. And he got a hold of this chicken bone, got out of the trash or whatever, and I was like, oh shit, you know. So I dove on him and grabbed the bone, grabbed the chicken leg or whatever it was that he was trying to eat, and got it away from him. And of course, being food aggressive, you taking away a bone and like a chicken or whatever. Snarled and literally lunged for me and got my hand, and he actually punctured. Like he bit to bit, or he bit to bite. He didn't just bite to, you know, hey, why are you doing that? No, he bit to like, because he was, you're taking my food. So my hand was all bloody or whatever, and when he did that, I got him in a headlock and pinned that dog to the floor where he was unable to move. Wasn't choking him, wasn't hurting him, literally had him restrained in a way that he tried to squirm to get out from my grip, but realized he couldn't move. And immediately you saw the look in his eyes go, oh shit, like I messed up. And he started whimpering, and I'm like looking at him like, are we gonna be good? And he whimpered some more. Like, if I let you up, are you gonna be good? Licked my hand a little bit, like, okay. So I slowly let him go, and I sat up, and he came over and cuddled against me and licked my hand. And I was like, all right. I was like, you're forgiven, but don't do that shit anymore. And I never had issues with him ever again. You know, we still try to get the times where we still try to get food, but I would just come over to him like, T again, drop it. And he'd look at you, drop it, and kind of slink away. I'm like, yeah, you know better, because I'm not gonna fight you for it. And if I have to fight you for it, you're gonna lose. Because you know, yeah, me and my wife, literally, we refer to, even with the pets, the cats, and the dog, or whatever, we refer to ourselves as mom and dad. Like if I come home, you know, the wife would be like, oh, look, daddy's home. I'm like, hey, Nala girl. So fun times, you know, but so thankfully, you know, still working on the current pup, new pup, and hopefully training will actually start making a difference with her. Hopefully we can get her out of her anxiety issues that she has going on, that where she stresses, when like reacts if somebody is coming at her from the side with like going to pet her, and she gets their hand like I'm trying to pet you, I'm not trying to hurt you. But you know, doing what we gotta do. But so yeah, if you have experience with, you know, people in your life, whether it's coworkers or just somebody you come into contact with, say at the store or whatever, they, you know, they go off on you, they say something that makes, you know, basically like an asshole to you, whatever. Just do, you know, try not to react, stop and think, because that's what a lot of us don't do. A lot of us might just react. You know, we'll be like, well, man, I want to give them a piece of my mind. I want to march right up to them, and I'm going to tell them such. Like, all right, but if you react to them in the way that you want to react to them, then they might react in a way that's, you know, that's negative as well, and it's just not worth it. A little situation that you know, could just basically be them talking to you like, you know, disrespectful, of course, you know, and you reacting and telling them off, motherfucker, fuck you. Then all of a sudden they react, you know, fuck you. The next thing you know, there's a fight going on, and you're both in jail, or they're charging you with assault because you took the first swing or something. The next thing you know, you're going to prison for assault or whatever, and you're like, man, all over this such and such, like, oh man, this wasn't worth it. I just lost 10 years of my life all because this guy said this one thing to me, and I told him to fuck off. The next thing you know, we're in a fist fight, and he charged me with assault, and I got convicted, blah blah blah. Not worth it, guys. It's not worth it. So, and that's part of why I do what I do. Why I love doing what I do, especially on the show, because it you can say, like, me coming on here and talking to you guys for a real talk episode, especially when it's whatever I might be inspired to talk about. it's like me talking through what I'm going through as well. Like I'm putting a topic out there that I feel might be beneficial to you guys as well. But it's something that I might have gone through, and so I'm putting it out there as a Real Talk episode to talk to you guys about. And and so it's almost like I'm working through stuff I'm dealing with as well. So it's like we're both working through it together. You know, like if you've experienced something like this, and you know, being able to give you guys advice or whatever, and talk it through or whatever, and I'm also working through it in my head as well. So it's like that's why when this happened, I thought this would actually be a really good Real Talk episode, I think. And I debated on whether I should do it. I was like, should I? Because I technically it's funny when you hear this episode. I've already got a Real Talk episode recorded for this upcoming week for the next 2 days, next 48 hours. I have a Real Talk already recorded, and I just did the Friday that you guys just heard previously to this episode. I just recorded that earlier this morning, and so technically, once I finish this recording, I'll be like a little bit ahead of the game. So if I get a story recorded when I start my new week, I'll be like technically I'll have episodes for 2 weeks technically. So I'll be like, hey, cool, I'm actually in good shape. So I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and and do it, because might as well be ahead of the game a little bit more, because it never hurts. If anything, it takes off a little bit of stress, because I can not work. I can focus on basically just getting the next episode will just be another story. So if I can get a story within the next couple of days, I'll be not just this week recorded, but the following week will be all set up, and I can, and then if I have another moment throughout this week where I feel inspired about a certain topic and I do another Real Talk, hey, I'm like 3 or so episodes ahead at that point, But it's all good. Just I'm trying to utilize whatever situation I might have been dealing with and turning it into a positive situation, So if you deal with stuff like that, walk away. Don't let it get to you. Just literally, even if you have to talk yourself out of it, talk yourself out of it. Like, I'm not like, oh, this guy's probably having a bad day. He's not worth time in jail. Not worth the death penalty. Not worth killing him over. It's like, just turn, walk away, take a couple deep breaths, go play a video game, go watch a show, or if you're a podcast host like I am, maybe do an episode about it. Turn negative situations into positive situations. So on that note, guys, about to literally park and get ready to head out. I just did the remote start as I was coming in the gate. Got my Silverado fired up. So when I parked it earlier, I went ahead and cranked the heat up, turned the heat on to defrost, because I knew it was going to get cold. I didn't, put on defrost because I don't know if it's going to be like frost on the window when I get back here. But it'll run for 10 minutes before it shuts off again. Usually it's shut off by the time I get up there. Usually it's a little bit longer than 10 minutes. But at least I get it partially warmed up before I get back there. But about to park, throw the trash, clear out the trash bag of the trash can in here, put a new bag in to get ready for my new week. And then go home, take the pup for a walk, whatever, catch some sleep, get up, hang out with the fam, go do her training at 4:45. I'm not sure how it's gonna go, getting her in and out of the car, because that's where we struggle when we first got her. Maybe she'll get right out. We'll be like, oh my god. But when we tried to get her out of the car before, she wouldn't get out of the car at all. And we'd reach in there for her, and that's when she was nipping at us, full on biting her hand, and we're like, you're home. Like, what do you do? Stay in the car? Like, hopefully, because of the fact that we've been working with her this last 7 days, maybe she'll get in and out of the car, and I'll be like, oh, cool. Because me and the wife, we want to take her to the park where there's like a lake near us, has like a 2 or 3 mile walking path around it. we'd love to take her there, but we both been like, yeah, but we want to be able to get her in and out of the car. Like, I don't want to, have her just fighting to stay in the car, and then she bites us and we reach for her. I'll be like, if she bites me, I'll just pounce on her and drag her ass out of the car. I'll be like, nope, come on, we're going. But she has a better harness now, so I might be able to just use the leash. It's connected basically to the top of the harness on her back. Not pulling on her neck or anything, because it's got her paws and her chest, basically. And I use that basically, for lack of a better word, drag her ass out of the car. Be like, come on, let's go, we're going. Her last harness that we literally just replaced because it was too big, that one, I tried to hold on to her handle that took the run line off her outside. And I tried to use the handle on the back of her harness to like guide her up the stairs, and she backpedaled and she slipped out of the harness. So I thought, oh shit, like I'm gonna have to chase this dog down. And she didn't run away, thankfully. Like she stayed right there, and I was like, now come here. She came over, so I scooped underneath her to pick her up. And I think she acted like she was gonna bite me, because when I went to scoop underneath her, she snarled a little bit, but she didn't get my hand. She didn't end up biting me. She snarled like she was gonna, but by that point I already had her off the ground and had her lifted up. I'm like, yep, your ass, we're going inside. Because once I had her off the ground, she kind of surrendered, like, okay, fine. So it's like, with your fur kiddos, you gotta, your fur babies, I'm not saying beat them or be abusive to them, but you still gotta, show them who's boss. Like if they bite, like that's why I've heard growing up we had dogs, and whenever they would pee on the floor, usually we were told like put their nose in it and then spank them on the butt, and that gets the message to them like don't pee on the floor, this is bad. Or if they poop on the floor, not shove their nose in it, but basically what we were taught is put their nose close to it so they can smell their own shit, and then you smack them on the butt. Kind of be like, yeah, don't shit on the floor either, that's bad, we're gonna do this outside. But I wouldn't do that to her right now, because we're still trying to work on whatever abuse or trauma we had in her last home or whatever. So we're trying to work on her stuff. So I think we basically, if she were to shit or pee on the floor, we just clean it up, take her outside, walk her to have her do a lot of business outside. Try to, nope, we do potty outside, not inside. So anyway, y'all, on that note, I hope everybody had a good weekend. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the story of this past week, because I feel pretty good about it. Kind of inspired by if you guys have already, by the time you're listening to this, hopefully you've already listened to that story episode. But if you're new to the show, go back and listen to this last month and a half or so of Friday stories, because I've been doing basically what I call freestyle episodes, where I just hit record, just come up with a story off the top of my head, and just tell a story. Mainly because like I'm a writer and a storyteller, but I only have so much time off, and so it's really hard on a Sunday for me it's stressful for me to try to be like, hey, because I have things written, but I might need like to set aside 2 or 3 hours in a day to be like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and read that story. But on my only day off, when I'm trying to hang out with fam and we got things planned and we're trying to do stuff, it's really hard for me to find that time to do it. And if I don't do it on that day, then I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do it throughout the week before Friday, and that's even more stressful. So that's why I'm trying to do kind of like what I'm doing right now, where I'm just, if I feel inspired about something for a real talk, all right, hop on, go ahead and record it. Or if I'm trying to work on the next week, right now what I try to do at the bare minimum is I'm trying to record for the next week on the current week. So like this week, right now it's Sunday. These last 2 episodes for like Friday and Tuesday, I had gotten those recorded last week by the time I got off Sunday morning. So by the time I had my day off, I already had that upcoming week. Those episodes were already recorded. I just had to edit them and get them posted. So then that week I recorded, the real talk that's technically coming up from right now. That's, you guys would have heard last Tuesday. And then the Friday story that you guys would have heard a couple days ago prior to when you're hearing this. So It's like, it's weird when when you hear these podcasts that talk about that they're recording in bulk and they're doing lots of episodes all at once. Spending an entire day recording. I'm like, that would be interesting. But I'd have to come up with random topics and then do like a one or two one like an hour and a half, whatever, real talk episode a couple times throughout that day, and basically be like, all right, so I'm like good for a month. It's a little easier for me to when to do like maybe if I'm doing multiples in a week, do like one on one day, one on a different day. Even though tonight I had to tell the story, and then had that situation with that jockey that I'm again just saying probably having a bad day, probably something going on in his life. So I literally walked away and just told myself, just let it roll off, just shrug it off, don't react. And then thinking to myself, hey, it's probably actually I should get on and do a Real Talk episode about this. So anyway, guys, you know what I say? Keep pushing forward, keep believing, do what you gotta do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. We only fail if we quit, give up, and walk away. So as long as we keep getting back up, keep making an effort, keep trying something else to see if it works, you haven't failed. Anybody, if you want to follow the show on Instagram, you can find us at Blodgett Show Podcast. Anybody who's a storyteller that wants me to tell their stories on one of the Storytime Friday segments, email your story to blodgettshowpodcast@gmail.com. And anybody who wants to support the show with any donations, feel free to go to blodgettshow.com/support. Do either a one-time donation for as little as $1. I think that's a minimum. Or you can do a recurring where you donate every month, which, hey, I'm not complaining. Anything and everything that would come in would be appreciated. It would all go towards stuff to help the show. I'll admit, been around for a while and still trying to grow the show. There's so much I want to do, but it's like one of those where you just don't have the time to do the things you want to do. And you hear these other shows that you think, like other podcasts, like for instance, like This Is Why We Drink. It's one of my favorite shows. I've literally been binge listening. I don't know how long now, maybe a couple weeks now, probably. And they're amazing. You guys check them out. I'm actually tuning in on iHeartRadio, but I believe they're on a bunch of others, like Spotify and whatnot. But I always thought doing this show that I was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm boring people with these Real Talk. But I know I've noticed I do have regular downloads every week. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. But again, with what time I have to work on it, I just do what I can and do what I have to do each week. Make sure that's what I'm trying to do, is be consistent and do it every week and not let up. And so, I know eventually at some point, donations will be flying in. We'll have merch out there. We'll have some of the Storytime Friday stories published, and so people, we'll have like hoodies and coffee mugs, whatever. Things will be good, and I'll have the time. I'll finally be able to do stuff like this full time and bring a lot of value to you guys and stuff, and have the show really progress quite a ways. But for now, with my current career and what I have to do, it's just the best I can do. So. But with the This Is Why We Drink, it's funny because when I first started listening to them, I thought, you know what, like their show isn't. I mean, yeah, it's different topics, obviously. It's like, or different genres or whatever. It's like true crime and paranormal podcast, but it's literally two amazing gals that are just going back. That are literally talking back and forth. And they each tell a story, and I'm like, well, it's not like that much different than what I do. And I was like, how are they successful? And they are, and I'm where I'm at. But of course, they, things are different in their life. Like they were able to and I think they actually had education in like broadcasting and stuff like that. Like they, actually have podcast equipment and stuff like that. Whereas I have like my phone, my headset, my computer, my condenser mic. Nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. But that just goes to show you, like, anybody can do what they want to do. Some of us, it might take longer to get there, So, on that note, already mentioned where you guys could find us on social media, and of course, watchtheshow.com/support if you want to support the show in any way, or just tell your friends and family, anybody you know, if you like what you hear, because I know growing the downloads would definitely help the show as well, because the hosting platform I'm a part of, in order for me to get like advertisements on the show and actually start bringing in revenue that way, I have to have like 500 downloads per week. And I know I've had weeks where I've had 200, 300 downloads, but I'm not quite where I need to be in order to get advertising. You know, start bringing in another income stream, whatever, which will any extra income helps. So hey, that's why I throw the donation link out there. Anybody wants to help, you know. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for you right now. But you guys keep being awesome. Keep doing what you gotta do. And like I said, guys, if you deal with any situation like that where somebody gets in your face about something, okay, whatever, I'll move, walk away. Live to fight, like literally live to fight another day. Stay free out of prison another day, and it's not worth it. Just walk away, and tell yourself, okay, they're probably dealing with some shit. So on that note, you guys have a great rest of your week. As of the time of this recording, I have no idea what the story will be for the episode coming up after this Real Talk, because of the fact that I'm a little more ahead of where I normally am. But I hope you guys enjoy the story, whatever it is I come up with on Friday. I'll try to make sure. Lately, I'm trying to make, as always, I'm gonna try to make sure I come up with something good for you. And email me your stories if you want me to tell them on the show. But otherwise, you guys have an awesome rest of your week, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.